Hi everyone, welcome again to Somebody's Got to Do It. This evening I have an extra special guest. Her name is Mrs. Theresa McLeod Scott, and she is a casket manufacturer from Quaint Manufacturing Designs. Welcome, Mrs. Scott.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. What is a casket manufacturer?
Okay. Uh, the creator, builder,
Mhm.
um, as the word suggests, we build caskets.
Okay. What's a casket?
A casket is the final bed that our loved ones go into when they
Mm.
have passed.
Okay, so in layman's term, what they call it, what the coffin? Is that the
No,
coffin?
coffin is different from casket.
What's the difference between a coffin
The
and a
shape,
casket?
the shape,
The shape is different.
yes.
Can you explain?
Okay, so if you remember the old time 50 cents,
Mm.
the top of the coffin is it's shaped like the old time, and the top is flat.
Okay.
Our caskets are more rounded at the top, depending on
Mhm.
the design, but we don't have the flat ones.
Oh,
Unless it's not something we wouldn't make.
yeah.
It would have to be, something special order
Okay.
that we would do.
All right. Before we go any further, we're just going to play a quick little video clip so you can see exactly what we're talking about when we say casket manufacturer. So these are some of her handiwork. Some of these caskets look very luxurious. They look fit for kings and queens.
Well, at Quaint, we do our best.
Hmm.
We do our best. Each of our productions tell the story
Hmm.
of the deceased.
Yeah, so they're very
Very
personalized.
personalized. Very personalized from the color to the
Mm.
texture of the material. Sometimes, depending on what our customers describe the deceased to be,
Right.
we add a little or take a little from, what
A
it is.
standard
Right.
casket.
So it's a communication between ourselves and the funeral directors,
Hmm.
sometimes with the relatives of the deceased.
Yes.
There is a particular one that is really close to home. Each casket has a different name. There's
Hmm.
a silver and blue, what we call a Benz casket with a half with a glass on the top, half
Hmm.
glass. That was the casket of the security officer that was killed in
Hmm.
Portmore, the beryllium security officer.
Hmm.
He is a family friend,
Okay.
and so it was his favorite color. You
Hmm.
know, the texture inside was chosen by his wife, so we get a lot of input. So we want each casket to tell the story of the
Right.
deceased
I noticed some of them had photographs
on
of
the
the on the
inside,
inside, and
right?
I saw one of them with the person's name.
Yes, so we do have an embroiderer. If the customer wants a name to be embroidered, if the
Hmm.
customer wants name to be attached on the outside, the vinyl to be
Hmm.
attached with the deceased's name and information, we do that as well. We do what we call foam boards with the deceased picture, a standee,
Hmm.
foam board with the deceased information, whatever it is that we provide comfort in our products,
Right.
and memories as well. We try to capture the memory of the deceased as best as possible.
Hmm.
So you won't possibly find, if even if we do, like, say for instance, we do 2 or 3 blue caskets for the week, they won't be the same 3 blue. There's a difference. There is something added, something personal. A personal touch is always there in our production.
Right.
We communicate with our customers, I've had to speak to customers of the funeral director. So there's a challenge. Probably a funeral director didn't capture something quite, after sending a picture quite as how the customer would like. I said, let me speak with the customer. Let's see if we can fix it, get to the bottom of it, and get on, because we want to ensure that at the end of the day, our customers are completely satisfied. And even though we don't deal directly with the end customer,
Hmm.
it's our reputation, it's a funeral director's reputation, and we want to ensure our customers are completely satisfied.
Even while they're going through
Even
this very,
especially,
very
especially while they're
grieving
going through
time,
their
in
time
their
of grief.
grief. Yeah.
You want to give them some amount of comfort.
Hmm.
Yes, and you allow them the time to express themselves, to tell you their stories, and so you get a better understanding, so you know exactly what they want you to produce, even when sometimes they can't really tell you.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you'll get a call, oh, I want a red and white casket, and then you have to hear the story to know exactly what to produce for that particular customer.
Yes.
Yes,
So
it's
this
very
is
personal.
Quaint
Quaint
manufacturing
manufacturing
designs.
designs.
Why Quaint?
Quaint because, as I described before, you want to provide that comfort, you want to provide that assurance, you want the company, whilst it's manufacturing, there's a lot of dust, it's a lot of just it's a lot that goes on in the background, a lot of dirty work.
Yeah, which is what we want to hear about.
Yes,
right?
It's a lot of dust, it's a lot of, sweat and grime and things, but you still want to provide that kind of environment in the customer's mind to say it's almost like a feather bed for them while they're going through the grief.
Right.
So,
they're going to see this smooth, well finished, glossy, beautiful product
correct.
that their loved one is going to spend the rest of
Pretty much the rest of their flesh.
At least on the physical
on the
realm,
physical realm, right?
And as you said, that gives them great comfort, because for some relatives, really, that's the last thing
It's
that
the last memory
their last tribute
of them. Correct.
Their last tangible tribute that they can play to their loved one. So from the time the customer or the order comes in, roughly how long does it take you to produce a casket? A regular casket.
Okay.
I imagine that the more intricate ones will take a little longer.
Yeah. So the standard casket, I would put it at 3 days.
3 days.
Standard. All right, let's see. Let me tell you how the production line runs.
Yes.
So we get what we call pop knot. This is standard because you have different customers ordering different types of different wood.
Yeah.
But for the standard casket, we use a board that we call pop knot. So
is it a kind of pine, or
it's not pine?
It's a separate wood by itself?
Yes, it is. Pop knot. Yes, that's what it's called.
Could you spell it?
Pop.
Pop.
Yes.
Pop knot.
Okay. So once we get the board from the supplier cut in, we take 7-foot long boards, and we have a planing process where we have to remove the bark and so on from the board, get it down to a level where the builder can now shave the sides, cut out the different sections on the table saw, and then we have another machine, the
plane?
No, man, the planer first.
Okay.
Then the table saw, and then the edge trim or the joiner. Yes, that's the machine, the joiner that they have to use, and then they start putting the pieces together.
Okay.
So that's
and
the
I
building
imagine it's
process.
more than one person is working.
Yes, more than one
casket.
More, yes. So that's just the building process. From the building, then you have the body work where you have to do body filling and putty work and sanding work. So that takes place to further refine the board. From there, now we move into the spray section.
Yeah.
The spray man now has to do some more refining because, of course, the body man is not going to catch all the dinks and kinks, and the wood is not perfect. So he has to go through again to ensure that everything is okay, smooth and dandy before the actual spraying of the paint is done. Once that is done, we at Quaint like to have time. So we want an additional 24 hours to just sit and dry.
Yeah, for it to just
sit and dry properly, because we don't want a quailed casket. We don't want a chipped casket. We want it to be as close as perfect as possible, because that's what we offer. Then comes the quilter, and this is the end of the magic now. So he's the man that is going to put in whatever color, whatever type of fabric that the customer had
Request.
requested.
And this is mainly what, satin or satin type?
We have satin, we have pongee. It depends on what the
On what they
customer
want,
wants, really.
So you would have a catalog,
Yes,
and they choose.
and they choose what they want. There's this fabric that we've been using recently that is it's almost like a cushion fabric, you know, those soft plushy cushions, right? That we've been using, and that's been a hit, you know. Also, we have customers who want their loved ones picture in the lid.
Yeah.
That's his job
So
as
that
well.
would be printed.
The printed, present it to him, and he would fit it in, do the bordering, put in the bedding,
And
the
if
pillow.
they want embroidery.
If they want embroidery, we do it. We do everything in the casket production, and also the handles, the bars that you hold.
Right.
He does the installation of those as well, and there are several of them. We have the Lord's Supper, Last Supper. We have praying arms. We have star handles. We have swing bars, which are popular. We have flowers. We have candles. There's a whole host of them, different colors as well, gold, silver. If you want, if say for example, your deceased is a lover of pink and you decide you want to have pink handles, you can do that. We create the magic for you. Putting on vinyl information on the casket will do that. Whatever type of wood you want, mahogany, Spanish elm, bitter wood, whatever it is, natural looking caskets, polished caskets, a whole host of them.
Are most of these woods and material sourced here, or do you have to import?
Sourced here.
They're sourced here.
There is a time when raw material may become scarce, and we may use imported, what we call ply. But that is just for the sides.
Okay.
The sides of the casket. But everything else is sourced here.
Yeah. You seem very passionate about your job, particularly where it comes to satisfying your customers. How did you get into this line of work? It's not your average line of work.
It's not.
You know, how did you get into
And it's pretty simple. My brother just called me one day and said, "Sis, what do you think about this?" And I said, "Okay."
So this is a family?
It is. Let me tell you, my husband and I are very determined to build legacy for our children. So we educate them, of course, but we also want them to have something that they can build on. We don't want to just leave them in the world to fend for themselves. And so our children play an integral role. Over the summer holidays, my son was there with me, tooth and nail.
I wish I had some pics of your son.
Yeah, we should have, right? Yes. Getting raw material, ensuring that the products were being done properly, because of course you have to have quality control. And we don't just build the caskets and deliver them. We follow through. Just since this afternoon, I followed through with a customer to say, how was your funeral? How did the family, what was their take? We're always looking to improve. If there is a challenge, we tell our customers, if you have a challenge, no matter how late it is, no matter, just give us a call. Yes, because customer satisfaction is paramount in our business. Even though we're dealing with the dead,
yes,
our customers,
yes,
they're the ones who keep our businesses alive. So it's paramount. Customer service and customer engagement is a must. We have, even though we're a relatively new company, because we're almost 3 years old, we have expertise spanning over 30 years because our tradesmen have been in the business. We have 3 generations of tradesmen and so on. And what I found that I had to be doing at the beginning, now they've gotten it, is to tell them, listen, only the best is good enough coming out of Quaint manufacturing. So no, we can't drop hand here, or no, we can't just skip over that there. Only the best is good enough. If it is we're having a challenge, we have to communicate with our customers prior to delivery. We cannot wait on a delivery day to be at hand to say, hey, this is what is happening. No, because things will happen. It's manufacturing, it's production. You will have things will happen, but proper communication, clear communication, keeping the customers in the know as you proceed is what keeps your business going. It's what keeps your customers coming back because customer retention is paramount. When we started, when we were just new in the business, we decided that we're going to go on the road. We built a casket, brought it to completion, and we took it from Kingston through Clarendon down all the way to St. Elizabeth. And I can tell you that even though we did that and we stopped at a whole heap of funeral homes on the road down, what I have found is that customer recommendation is even better than that. Is even better than that. So telling the team, teaching the team that satisfying the customer, following through with the customer to end of service is important because then you get to learn, you get to understand your customers, and they also know that you are with them throughout the entire process. They have that confidence in Quaint manufacturing, that we won't let them down, that we will always be there in their corner to ensure that their brand is sold because the casket is the centerpiece of the casket and the preparation of the body. That's the centerpiece of any funeral. When anything else can go wrong, you cannot go wrong with the casket.
I saw a video clip on social media where they were taking the casket into the church, and I don't know if they push it wrong or somebody turned over, and that one all hell broke loose. People started crying, just
because
mayhem.
it's a built up,
right? Because so many emotions.
There's a lot of emotions going in. So when it is that you have your part to play, just do it to the best of your ability.
A lot of persons, once it has to do with death or the dead, they tend to have it's like taboo. It's a taboo, and even though in this line of work you don't directly deal with a dead body, right? Do you?
No, unless
it's more indirect. Do you ever come into contact with the dead?
I've been to the morgue upon request. I had a customer, a funeral director, whose customer wanted to see the casket before it was delivered. She cried. And she came and she saw where her mom was going to be placed, and so she cried and she said, would you come with us? Would you come with us on Friday to? I just wanted to see mom in the casket and to say whether just to give me advice to say is she okay? And I said yes. Why not? It was a very emotional state that she was in, and we offered the support right through to her mom being placed in that casket.
In the beginning,
because it was important for her.
Did you have any reservations, any fear?
Fear? No. Fear, no. No fear. And as time progressed, it became easier for me to go into because from time to time to go into the morgue. As time progressed, it became easier for me to go to actually see the deceased, to see how it is that they were being prepared and so on. Yeah.
What are some of the challenges of this job?
Some of the challenges, as with any other business, human resources. You have to be able to manage people and manage them well. Availability of raw material. Sometimes there comes a time when, especially in the rainy periods, that the board is unavailable and so on. Raw material like body filler and so on. You have to know when to stock up. The straw, what we call straw, the shredded paper that is used for the bedding inside the casket. That also becomes scarce at times. But outside of that, once you've gotten the management of the human resources down and you get to understand the the periods,
Mm-hmm.
you know, when things become
Low, and
low.
you probably have to stock up
Right.
sometimes.
But
Yeah.
once we got the hang of that, then, you know,
So by now you have learned the
we've
ropes,
learned.
at least most stuff.
Right.
The
Yeah, because you can't
ropes.
know everything. But
Yeah, as you
yes,
go along, you learn.
yes, as you go along. And we have been blessed with, well, we don't compete with anyone,
Mm-hmm.
really. But in business, there's competition. We've been blessed with persons who've been in the industry long enough that I can pick up the phone and call another supplier and say, hey, how do you do this? Or how do you do that?
Mm-hmm.
Another supplier will call me and say, T, you know, I'm in a spot of bother. Can you assist? And I can do the same.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a tug of war. We're not into that. We're just here to produce the best and to ensure our customers are pleased.
Yeah.
And that's
I
it.
usually ask my guests, um, what would you say if there are any misconceptions that persons have about this job?
Misconception. I always get when persons ask me, what you doing? And I tell them,
Mm-hmm. That same
yes.
taboo thing.
But let me tell you what the casket entails: wood, glue, nails, paint, clear or what we call lacquer to make it shine, straw, which is paper, shredded paper, and material, cloth.
And the dead guy standing over to ensure that his casket is built
Listen, I have stories to tell you about
up.
that.
Well, we want to hear those stories. We want to hear those stories.
We've had
I'm
a couple.
pretty sure there are some people who will not rest until they come and see what the casket is
Listen,
looking like.
we've had a couple of caskets that give you a run for your money.
Uh-huh.
You have a sprayman who has over 20 years worth of experience.
Mm-hmm.
He would have done 5 or 6 spray jobs already. And there's this one particular casket that the paint just won't stop rolling or something. And you call
I knew it.
you call the funeral director. He said, tell me about this guy again.
Mm-hmm.
And the stories that you tell, this someone was a troublemaker. So there are times you have a little challenge, but we laugh about it and we get the job done. We fix it
you
and we
make
move
light
on.
of it.
Yes, yes. But I won't tell you that it's always smooth sailing, And anytime you have a trouble with that production, and you make that phone call, you get the stories.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man.
And another thing, sorry, finish what you were
you,
saying.
you get the laugh and you get on with it. Yeah.
Another question that I asked my guests, which I guess you answered already, but I'll still ask. Is this something you would recommend to young persons coming up? Because you did mention your kids are very involved.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. What I will say is that trade men in our industry are few in number. Few in number. I would encourage young men, young women, get in the business. Learn the trade of casket manufacturing. Learn the building trade. Learn the spraying trade. Learn the bodywork trade. This kind of trade will help you in other aspects, furniture manufacturing,
joinery,
car repairs, because it's basically the same.
Okay.
It's the same material that we use on the cars.
Oh, you mean like the spraying?
Yes, the spray,
and stuff.
the body work and the spray job. Similar. I give you this. We have a body man who is our neighbor. And let me tell you, our neighbors at first, they were a little tentative. But, eventually over time, they realized, oh, it's not so scary.
Yeah.
There's a body man, and he expressed to me that before being our immediate neighbor, he would never, and he was scared of these things. And I invited him. I said, come and see. It's nothing to be scared of. And he came up, and when he saw the lines, the production line, he's just like, wow. He's been in body spray all this time. And if I didn't show him the process, in his mind, he thought all caskets were metal.
Oh.
Yes. So seeing the production from, preparing the board to building to spraying to,
Do you do metal
changes
caskets?
my. We don't manufacture, but we do work on them. So say for
Okay.
instance, there is a casket that has been imported and it gets a little dink or a little scratch or something, or you want to change a handle or you want to change the interior, we do work on those as well at the
Mhm.
request of our customers.
Okay.
Yes,
Is this a very lucrative job?
it is. It is.
Mm.
The other side of the business is more lucrative. It is not something I am going to be shy about or to shy away from. If
And by the other side, you mean
meaning the actual funeral
funeral direction?
directing, yes, that that is the more lucrative side.
Mm-hmm.
It is not something I'm not open to. So pretty much in a couple of years, if you ask me what do I do for a living, it might just change.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be scared. It's nothing to be afraid of.
Right. So
Just
would that
as
mean
you,
you'd also have to do embalming?
yes, yes,
You'd have to get some kind of certification for that.
yes, most definitely. And
Mm.
that certification, I believe, comes from Montego Bay Community College. I believe they offer something at that school where that is concerned.
Okay.
And I have a daughter who is interested in the other side of the business, so it's something I'm open to.
Okay.
Yes,
Well, that's gonna take us.
yeah, I believe so. But as with the casket manufacturing, once you understand the intricacies and once you know that it is a product you're offering and customers you're dealing with, it
Mhm.
becomes, second nature.
Have you ever thought about, like, you're looking at a casket that has come out of Quaint,
Yes.
and you say, when my time comes, this is the one I want. Have you ever
No,
done that?
no,
You never
but
chosen a casket and said,
no,
I want one
no,
like
no. And what I've told my family, and they know, I'm not one for frolic and excitement. Just bear me quickly and nice and quietly. I don't want the fanfare, and because there are some caskets I tell you that we've done that is fanfare.
Mhm.
you know,
Pull
we
out
we
all the
all the
stops.
stops we've had outside of just favorite color. We've had political representation.
In what way? Oh, you mean the
How the caskets are prepared,
party colors?
colors, party
Mm.
colors. Um, you know, you every time there's a party, oh, this one have to be green tea, green, or this one have to be orange tea, and you have to get the proper shade, and it's important because the loved ones are diehard this particular party or that particular party, and the community is aware, so you have to be very careful.
Mm.
Be very careful. This work is not for the faint of heart.
It's not. It's not. It's not. It's
It
not.
is not for the faint of heart. And you have to ensure that when you're doing it, you go with an open mind
Mhm.
and you listen. Listening is key to success in this business.
Yeah.
You have to listen to your customers and you have to understand. There are customers who their burial sites are up a hill and you have to go the extra mile to put something extra in the casket. So when you're
Right.
going up the hill, the body must slide
So,
down and the
oh,
this
you
and
have
the
to
that.
think ahead,
You have to
really.
listen.
Yeah. You have to think. You have to have foresight.
Yes.
Have you ever done caskets for infants or kids?
I've done one so far for a child. I have one coming up for a 3 month old. And let me tell you, it sends shivers every time I think about it.
Mm.
When I say to the team, we have a 3 month old, everybody, it's
Mm.
complete silence. You don't
Mm.
ever want to bury a child.
Yeah.
It is it touches something inside here
Mm.
that is the children, the completely desolate in our society,
Mm.
because we have had funeral director reach out to us to say this is the situation, this gentleman has nobody to bury him,
Mm.
and we've partnered with that funeral director to send that person off.
Yeah.
with dignity, because
Mm.
that is important. That is important in our business.
Right.
Yes, you have to ensure that it don't matter. And you question a lot of things. This person must have meant something to somebody,
Mhm.
so we have to ensure that they go off with dignity. We've done a one for a young boy. He was 9 years old. I've done one so far. I have a 3 month old coming, and yes, I'm looking forward to it. And no, I'm definitely not looking forward
I
to it.
can imagine.
Yes,
Mhm.
it is so bad that when the builder said to me, "Boy, Misty, I don't even know what to tell you to charge for that casket. I don't believe the casket."
Mhm.
And I said, "All right, we'll talk about it tomorrow," because you realize,
You touch a string.
yes,
Mhm.
so you have to know how to pace yourself, even with getting the team to do that type of production.
Yes.
Yes,
It's a very sensitive job.
very sensitive, very sensitive, very emotional at times. Sometimes you have to help your funeral director to talk to loved ones.
Mhm. Does it require long hours?
Extremely long, sometimes overnight,
Yeah.
24 hours. I have
To
workmen,
meet your
yes,
deadlines.
I have workmen there for days, don't go home.
Oh my.
Yes. So we try our best to ensure that the environment is comfortable for them,
Mhm.
because you don't want a workman there in the middle of the night. He wants something to snack on, he wants some tea or something.
Yeah.
So we provide that type of thing. We don't want them there in the middle of the day. The sun is hot, it's too hot. They need something to drink. Provide that kind of thing.
I hate to ask, but are there peak periods where you get a flood of orders
Yes,
during the year?
yes. Following any holiday,
Mm.
following back to school, following,
Particularly
yes,
Christmas?
yes, following Christmas time, following
Mm.
right on the heels of Christmas time, coming to January,
Are these
momentarily,
mainly accidents?
mainly accidents.
Mm.
We get a lot of um, persons who have passed on through gun violence, unfortunately,
Yeah.
gun violence accidents
And you said back to school. That's
after
strange.
back to school,
So
because
after back to school,
yes,
what would be the connection there?
during that period, persons don't necessarily have the resources to do both,
Oh, so they have to
so they have to
prioritize. They
prioritize.
prioritize the school,
Yes, so
and
right
their
after back
health
to school,
takes second.
there's an uptick.
Oh,
Yes,
that's interesting.
yes.
That's very interesting.
So right after the holidays, right after any major event that's happening, back to school, that sort of a thing,
Hmm.
then there's an uptick.
Okay.
So you have to be prepared.
And business booms, but well, there is a up and down side
Yes.
to everything,
Yes.
because I was talking to someone the other day, and they were saying, there was this lady who was having a conversation and saying, boy, she wished COVID would come back because in her line of business, she was thriving.
Unfortunately, that was
Yes.
I was not in the business then. When I
Hmm.
entered the space, persons were like, "Why you never coming in COVID?
Yeah,
We needed
business
you
was
then.
booming.
we were under so much pressure that we needed this kind of business. We
Right.
needed you.
Yeah.
We needed you to come and smooth things over for us and help us go through this. It was rather hectic. I've
And
been
then
told.
I guess there's a lull at times.
Yes, most definitely. There's a lot. As with any
Yeah.
business, there's always
And
that period.
unfortunately, praying for things to step up automatically
Means
means
people die.
people die.
Yes,
But death is a part of life,
it is.
and it
It
is
is.
good that this business, Quaint Manufacturing Designs, is there
Yes,
to help you through this really rough time, so they are in tune with the emotions the roller coaster of emotions that you're going through,
yes,
and they're there to see to it that your relatives are sent off in style, affordable,
affordable
yes,
and in comfort.
and in comfort. Any parting words, Mrs. Scott?
Whilst it is that we don't wish death on anyone,
Hmm.
If it is that you have a loved one who has passed and you want to reach out to me, my telephone number is 876-418-3284. We're located at 56 Lyndhurst Road.
Could you repeat
Um,
the number and address again, please?
56 Lyndhurst Road. That's where we're located. That's the road that RJR is on.
Mm-hmm.
That's the road that comes off Maxfield Avenue. The telephone number is 876-418-3284.
Okay.
Yes.
Mrs. Scott, I really appreciate you taking the time to come and share with us so we know exactly what goes on behind the scenes
Yes.
in getting our loved ones to their resting place.
It was my pleasure. It was my pleasure.
Yes.
And remember, it's nothing to be afraid of.
Mhm.
Caskets are just raw material, board, nails, glue, paint, material like cloth and paper. That's it.
And the dead guy standing over it. So we're gonna part with we're gonna play that video clip for you once again, and that's our parting shots.
Right now, there's nails from about three or four different types. That one is very close to home too. That was my favorite. This is not chocolate. That one is going to take a long time. At least a week ago. That's all it is. That one has a rope on it already. That one was politically accommodated as well, and it was a beautiful funeral. That's the one.